Hello, and welcome to the CertSure Consultancy podcast. Have you ever stumbled across terms like ISO certified, certification body, or accreditation and felt a little lost? Well, you're definitely not alone, and this episode is especially for you.
Exactly. Today, we're going to clearly explain what a certification body is, what an accreditation body is, and most importantly, how they differ. Plus, we'll dive into why choosing the right one truly matters for your business. Let's break it down simply.
So, why is this topic so important? It's because many businesses proudly announce, we are ISO certified, but very few actually stop to ask critical questions, like, who certified us? Is that certificate globally accepted? And is the certification body itself credible? This is where certification bodies and accreditation bodies step into the spotlight.
Let's start with the basics. What is a certification body, or CB? Essentially, a certification body is an organization that audits your company, verifies its compliance with a specific standard, think ISO 9001 for quality management, ISO 14001 for environmental management, or even ISO 22000 for food safety. And if you pass the audit, issues the coveted ISO certificate.
In simple terms, certification bodies check your system. Imagine your factory wants to achieve ISO 9001 certification. A certification body will come in, meticulously audit your processes, and if everything aligns with the ISO 9001 standard, they'll issue the certificate. Easy enough, right?
But what does a certification body actually do during this process? Well, a CB conducts what are called Stage 1 and Stage 2 audits. During these audits, they'll raise nonconformities if they find areas where your system doesn't quite meet the standard. They'll then verify your corrective actions to ensure you've addressed those issues. If all goes well, they issue and maintain your certificate, conducting surveillance audits every year to make sure you continue to comply.
Now, here's a crucial point that many businesses overlook. Not all certification bodies are created equal. Some are internationally renowned and properly accredited, while others may issue certificates without conducting thorough audits. This can lead to serious consequences, such as certificate rejection by clients, problems in tenders, and ultimately, a loss of credibility. And that's why accreditation is absolutely critical.
Which leads us to the next question. What is an accreditation body, or AB? Think of an accreditation body as a higher authority. Their main job is to evaluate and approve certification bodies. They ensure that these CBs are following international rules and operating with integrity. In simpler terms, accreditation bodies check the certification bodies.
So, who keeps them in check? Globally, accreditation bodies are recognized through the IAF, the International Accreditation Forum. Most countries have their own national accreditation body. For example, in India, it's NABCB, which operates under the Quality Council of India. In the UK, it's UCAS, and in the USA, it's ANABAB. And in Germany, you'll find DACAX.
To really cement this concept, let's use a simple analogy. Think of organizations as students. The certification bodies are like teachers, assessing the students' work. And the accreditation body? That's like the education board. The board doesn't directly examine students. Instead, it approves teachers in schools to ensure they meet certain quality standards. It's the same concept with certification and accreditation.
Okay, so we've established that a certification body, or CB, is the organization that actually comes in and audits your company. But what does that really mean? Let's dig into the nitty-gritty. At its core, a CB's primary function is to verify compliance. They check your systems against a specific standard, like ISO 9001 for quality management, ISO 14001 for environmental management, or maybe even ISO 22000 for food safety. Think of it like this. You've set up a system, and the CB comes in to give it a thorough checkup.
Right. It's like taking your car in for an inspection. The mechanic, in this case the certification body, examines everything to make sure it meets the required standards. And if it does, they issue you a certificate of compliance.
Exactly. And it's important to remember that certification bodies are standard-specific. They don't just hand out certificates willy-nilly. They have to be competent and knowledgeable in the particular standard they are auditing against.
So let's talk about that factory example from the intro. Say your factory wants to get ISO 9001 certified, showing that you meet international standards for quality management. What happens next?
Well, the CB will assign a qualified auditor or a team of auditors to come to your factory. They'll review your documentation, observe your processes, and interview your employees. They're essentially looking for evidence that your quality management system is effectively implemented and maintained.
And this isn't just a quick once-over, right? I mean, these audits are pretty thorough.
Absolutely. The process typically involves 2 stages. The Stage 1 audit is more of a documentation review. The CB checks that you have all the necessary procedures and policies in place. Then comes the Stage 2 audit, which is a deep dive into your actual practices. This is where the auditors verify that what you've documented is actually happening on the factory floor.
Okay, so they're not just looking at paperwork, they're seeing how things are really done. What happens if they find something that's not quite right?
That's when they raise what are called nonconformities. A nonconformity is essentially a gap between what the standard requires and what you're actually doing. It could be anything from a minor documentation issue to a major process breakdown. The CB will then require you to implement corrective actions to address these nonconformities.
So you have to fix the problems they find?
Precisely. You need to identify the root cause of the nonconformity, develop a plan to correct it, and then implement that plan. The CB will then verify that your corrective actions have been effective. Only then will they issue the ISO certificate. And the CB responsibilities does not just end at issuing the certificate. It involves maintaining certificates and conducting surveillance audits every year.
That makes sense.
It's not just about getting the certificate. It's about continuously improving your systems. So once you're certified, are you good to go forever?
Not quite. Certification bodies also conduct what are called surveillance audits, usually every year. These audits are less comprehensive than the initial certification audit, but they're still important. They ensure that you're continuing to maintain your system and address any new issues that may have arisen. It's like an annual checkup to make sure you're staying on track.
Got it. So to recap, a certification body audits your organization, verifies compliance with a specific standard, issues the ISO certificate if you pass, and then conducts regular surveillance audits to make sure you're still compliant. In essence, they are checking your system. They play a critical role in ensuring that organizations meet internationally recognized standards.
Let's talk about why all certification bodies aren't created equal. It's a critical point often overlooked. You see, the landscape of certification is quite diverse.
Exactly. On one end, you have certification bodies with established international reputations. These are the ones that have consistently proven their rigor and competence. They've usually invested heavily in their own systems and training. Importantly, they hold accreditation from recognized bodies like UCAS or ANAB.
And what does that accreditation really mean in practice?
Accreditation means they're regularly audited themselves. An accreditation body checks their processes, the competence of their auditors, and their overall impartiality. It's a stamp of approval ensuring they operate according to international standards, giving their certifications real weight.
Okay, that makes sense. But what about the other end of the spectrum? What are the dangers of choosing a less reputable certification body?
That's where things can get risky. Some certification bodies might offer certificates without conducting thorough audits. They may cut corners on auditor training or fail to properly investigate nonconformities.
So what's the worst that can happen? I mean, a certificate is a certificate, right?
Not at all. Imagine you've invested time and money in getting ISO 9001 certified, only to find your certificate rejected by a major client. Or you're bidding on a government tender and your certification isn't recognized. Suddenly, that cheaper certificate becomes incredibly expensive.
Ouch. So the savings up front are completely negated by potential losses down the line.
Precisely. And it's not just about financial losses. Your company's reputation is on the line. If your certification is deemed invalid, it damages your credibility with customers, partners, and even your own employees.
So if accreditation is so important, why doesn't everyone just go with an accredited certification body in the first place?
Sometimes it comes down to cost. Non-accredited certification bodies offer lower prices because they haven't invested in the same level of rigor or oversight. Companies might be tempted by the upfront savings without fully understanding the potential consequences. Another factor could be a lack of awareness. Many businesses simply don't know to ask about accreditation or understand what it entails.
This is a really good point. It's about doing your homework before you even start the certification process.
Absolutely. Accreditation provides assurance. It demonstrates that the certification body has been independently assessed and found competent to perform its role. It's about building trust, ensuring the validity of your certification, and safeguarding your business interests. Without it, you're essentially gambling with your company's future.
All right, let's dive into the world of accreditation bodies, or ABs. Think of them as the quality control for the certification world. They're the higher authority, making sure certification bodies, or CBs, are playing by the rules.
So ABs don't directly certify companies, right? They're focused on the CBs themselves.
Exactly. An accreditation body evaluates and approves certification bodies. They ensure these CBs are competent and follow international standards when they audit and certify companies like yours. In simple terms, accreditation bodies check the certification bodies. Makes sense. So who's keeping an eye on the accreditation bodies? Is there some kind of global oversight? Yes, there is. Globally, accreditation bodies are largely recognized and coordinated through the IF, the International Accreditation Forum. The IF is like the umbrella organization that promotes a single worldwide program of conformity assessment. This reduces risk for businesses and ensures greater confidence.
So if I'm looking at a certificate and I see the CB is accredited, I should check if that accreditation body is part of the IF.
Precisely. That's a key step in verifying the credibility of the certification. Now, each country typically has its own national accreditation body. These bodies are responsible for accrediting CBs within their specific region.
Can you give me a few examples that might help clarify things?
Absolutely. In India, you have NABCB, which operates under the Quality Council of India, or QCI. In the UK, it's UKS, the United Kingdom Accreditation Service. Over in the USA, you'll find ANAB, the ANSI National Accreditation Board. And in Germany, it's DAX, Deutsche Akkreditierungsstelle.
Okay, so NABCB in India, UKS in the UK, ANAB in the US, and DOCS in Germany. So these organizations are responsible for ensuring the certification bodies within their countries are up to snuff. What kind of criteria are they evaluating them on?
They're looking at everything from the CB's competence and impartiality to their audit processes and the qualifications of their auditors. They make sure the CBs are consistently applying the relevant ISO standards and following best practices. Accreditation provides assurance that the certification body has been independently evaluated and found competent to certify organizations to specific standards.
That's really helpful. So to recap, if a company boasts about being ISO certified, we need to ask who certified them, and is that certification body accredited by a reputable accreditation body like UKS, ANAB, DOCS, or NABCB? And are those ABs members of the IF?
You got it. It's all about ensuring that extra layer of credibility and global acceptance. This way, you know the certification truly means something. So, let's solidify this with our school analogy. Think of it this way. Your organization, aiming for ISO certification, is like a student striving for good grades.
Okay, I'm picturing it. We're all trying to get that A+.
Exactly. Now, the certification body, the CB, is like the teacher. They assess your processes, your systems, essentially your homework and exams, to see if you meet the requirements of the ISO standard.
The teacher checks if we've actually learned the material and applied it correctly.
Precisely. And if you pass, they give you a grade, which in this case is your ISO certificate. But here's the thing. Are all teachers equally qualified or equally reliable?
Good point. Some teachers might be tougher graders. Some might not be fully up to date on the curriculum.
That's where the accreditation body, the AB, comes in. They are like the education board or the school district. Their job isn't to directly grade the students. They don't audit your organization.
So they're not looking at my homework. They're looking at the teachers.
Exactly. The accreditation body assesses the certification bodies themselves. They check if the CBs are following international standards for auditing and certification. They ensure the CBs have qualified auditors, use proper procedures, and are impartial in their assessments.
They're making sure the teachers are teaching the right things, grading fairly, and know their stuff.
Precisely. The education board doesn't examine each student directly, but they set the standards and approve the teachers and schools that meet those standards. This ensures a certain level of quality and consistency across the board.
So an accredited certification body is like a teacher that's been vetted and approved by the education board.
You got it. And just like you trust a school or teacher approved by a reputable education board, you can trust a certification issued by an accredited certification body. It adds a layer of credibility and assurance.
This makes so much sense. It's all about ensuring that the certification process itself is reliable and trustworthy, not just the certificate.
Without that oversight, the whole system could fall apart.
Exactly. And that's why, for your business, choosing an accredited certification body isn't just a box to check. It's a strategic decision that protects your reputation, ensures global acceptance, and ultimately contributes to your long-term success. So, why does accreditation really matter to your business? Let's paint a picture. Imagine you've invested time and money into getting ISO certified, ready to expand into new markets.
Sounds like a smart move, right? Get that certificate and open new doors.
Exactly. But what if that certificate isn't widely accepted? What if your potential export customers shrug it off? Or large corporations simply don't recognize the certification body that issued it?
Ouch, that would sting. It's like having a degree from a school nobody's ever heard of.
Precisely. And it's not just about recognition. Think about government tenders. Many require accredited certification. Without it, you could be disqualified right off the bat, losing out on significant business opportunities.
So accreditation is like a passport, verifying your certificate for international travel in the business world. But what specifically does accreditation bring to the table?
3 key things: global acceptance, audit credibility, and international trust. Global acceptance means your ISO certificate is more likely to be recognized and respected worldwide. This is huge when dealing with international clients or partners.
Makes sense. No one wants to deal with a certificate that raises more questions than answers. What about audit credibility?
Audit credibility stems from the rigorous oversight that accreditation bodies provide. They ensure certification bodies are competent and follow international standards. This adds weight to the audit process, making it more reliable and trustworthy. It's not just a rubber stamp.
It's like having a quality control system for the quality control system. So if a certificate body is accredited, you're more assured that they are doing a thorough job.
Correct. And finally, there's international trust. Accreditation fosters trust among businesses, regulators, and consumers. It signals a commitment to quality and compliance that transcends borders.
How does that translate into tangible benefits for a business?
Think about it this way. If a potential client sees that your certificate is backed by a reputable accreditation body, they are more likely to trust your processes, products, and services. It reduces perceived risk and makes them more comfortable doing business with you.
So it's a risk mitigation strategy as well as a market access tool.
Absolutely. And it's not just about getting new clients. Accreditation can also strengthen relationships with existing customers. It demonstrates that you're serious about maintaining high standards and continuously improving your operations.
Okay, I'm convinced. Accreditation sounds essential. But what happens if a company ignores this advice and goes with a non-accredited certification body to save a few bucks?
Well, it's a gamble. They might save money up front, but they risk losing much more in the long run. Limited acceptance, potential rejection by clients, and disqualification from tenders can all add up to significant financial losses and reputational damage. It's better to invest wisely in proper accreditation from the start.
So it's like paying for insurance. You hope you never need it, but you're glad you have it when things go wrong. Accreditation protects your investment in ISO certification and helps you unlock its full potential.
Exactly. It's about ensuring that your ISO certificate is a valuable asset, not just a piece of paper. Okay, so let's dive into the real difference accreditation makes. Think of it this way. You have 2 ISO 9001 certificates, one from an accredited certification body and one that's not. What's the big deal?
The big deal is essentially acceptance and trust. An accredited certificate carries weight because it signifies that the certification body itself has been vetted and deemed competent by an accreditation body.
Exactly. Let's say you're trying to win a contract with a large multinational corporation. They're likely to scrutinize your ISO 9001 certificate. If it's from an accredited CB, they know the audit was rigorous and follows international standards. It's globally recognized.
Makes total sense. So what happens if it's a non-accredited certificate?
Well, that's where the waters get murky. The company might question the validity of the audit process. Was it thorough? Was it unbiased? They might even reject your certificate outright, putting you at a disadvantage.
It's all about perceived risk, isn't it? A non-accredited certificate introduces uncertainty, and businesses generally avoid uncertainty when it comes to compliance and quality.
Precisely. Think of it from an export perspective. Certain countries or regions may require suppliers to have ISO certificates from accredited bodies. Without that accreditation, your products might not even clear customs.
So it's not just about having a piece of paper that says ISO certified. It's about having a certificate that's accepted and respected.
That's right. Now, let's talk about cost. Non-accredited certification is often cheaper upfront. It might seem like a tempting way to cut corners, especially for smaller businesses.
But that initial cost saving could be a false economy, right?
Absolutely. Imagine investing in a cheaper, non-accredited certificate, only to find that your major clients won't accept it. You'd then have to go through the entire certification process again with an accredited body, effectively paying twice.
Ouch, double the cost plus the wasted time and effort.
Exactly. And it's not just about direct financial costs. Think about the potential damage to your reputation. If customers lose faith in your certificate, it can erode trust in your brand.
So accreditation offers a kind of assurance policy. It's an investment in credibility and long-term business security.
You nailed it. It's about building a solid foundation for sustainable growth. An accredited certificate isn't just a badge. It's a signal that you're serious about quality and compliance, and that you're committed to meeting international standards. It shows you've invested in a reliable audit process.
In other words, while a non-accredited certificate might seem like a quick fix, it can create more problems than it solves in the long run. Accreditation is really about investing in long-term value and minimizing risk.
Absolutely. It's a strategic decision that can significantly impact your business's credibility and success. All right, let's tackle some common myths surrounding ISO certification. These misconceptions can really trip businesses up, so let's clear the air.
Sounds good, Alex. Myth number 1. ISO itself gives certificates. I hear that one all the time.
Exactly. ISO does not certify companies. ISO, the International Organization for Standardization, develops the standards. They're the brains behind the operation, creating the frameworks, but they don't actually conduct audits or hand out certificates. Think of them as the rulebook writers, not the referees.
That makes sense. So who does the certifying?
That's where certification bodies come in. They're the independent organizations that assess companies against the ISO standards. They're the ones who verify compliance and issue the certificates.
Okay, myth number 2. Any certificate is enough. I imagine that's not quite right either.
Definitely not. Only accredited certificates matter, especially if you're serious about global recognition and credibility. A non-accredited certificate might look the same on paper, but it carries far less weight.
So it's like the difference between a degree from a well-known university and one from, well, not so well-known.
Precisely. The accreditation provides assurance that the certification body is competent and follows international standards. Without it, the certificate is basically just a piece of paper.
Got it. Now, what about the last myth? Accreditation is optional.
Oh, this is a big one. For serious business, it is essential. While it might seem like an extra cost or a bureaucratic hurdle, accreditation is what unlocks global acceptance and trust.
Why is accreditation so important in practice?
Let's say you're exporting goods. Many countries and large corporations will only accept ISO certificates issued by accredited certification bodies. It's their way of ensuring quality and compliance throughout the supply chain. Without accreditation, you might find yourself locked out of key markets. Think of it as a quality stamp that's recognized worldwide. Accreditation ensures a baseline level of quality and competence in the auditing process.
So skipping accreditation to save money is a false economy.
Absolutely. It's often cheaper to go with a non-accredited certification body, but it can be incredibly costly in the long run. You might face certificate rejection, lose out on tenders, and damage your reputation. It's like investing in a cheap tool that breaks down when you need it most. It's like trying to build a house on a shaky foundation. The foundation represents your certification, and accreditation ensures that foundation is solid and reliable.
So when a company is looking for a certification body, what should they be asking?
The first question should always be, are you accredited? And if they say yes, dig deeper. Ask, which accreditation body are you accredited by? Then check if that accreditation body is a member of the International Accreditation Forum, IAF. This confirms they're operating to globally recognized standards.
And what if they're not a member of IAF?
Then that's a red flag. It means their accreditation might not be recognized internationally, which defeats the whole purpose. You also want to make sure the scope of the certification body's accreditation matches your business. For example, if you're a food manufacturer, you need a certification body accredited for ISO 22000, the Food Safety Management Standard. A general ISO 9000 accreditation won't cut it.
That makes sense. It's all about ensuring that the certification is relevant and credible for your specific industry and needs.
Exactly. A good consultant can be invaluable in navigating this process. They can help you identify the right certification body for your business and ensure that you're getting a certificate that will actually benefit you. So, you're ready to choose a certification body, huh? Don't rush into it. This is a critical decision. First and foremost, is the CB accredited? Don't even consider a non-accredited one, no matter how tempting the price.
Right, and which accreditation body accredited them? This is equally important. Remember those examples we gave earlier? NABCB in India, UKAS in the UK, ANOB in the USA, DOCS in Germany. These are all members of the IAF, the International Accreditation Forum.
Exactly. IAF membership is your assurance that the accreditation body follows globally recognized standards. Think of it as a quality stamp for the CB's auditor. It ensures a certain level of competence and impartiality.
Now, how do you check if an accreditation body is a member of the IAF? Simple. Go to the IAF website. They have a directory of accredited members. Cross-reference the accreditation body listed on the certification body's website with the IAF directory. Don't just take their word for it.
Another crucial thing, does the CB's scope of accreditation match your business? Let's say you're a food manufacturer seeking ISO 22000. Make sure the certification body is accredited to audit specifically for ISO 22000 in the food sector. It sounds obvious, but it's often overlooked.
Let's dig deeper into scope. An AB will define the scope that the CB is accredited for. This is a standardized way of defining what industries, standards, and activities a CB is competent to audit.
Think of it this way. Let's say you're a toy manufacturer seeking an audit for ISO 9001. You need to ensure that the CB is accredited for auditing the manufacturing sector, and more specifically, the toy manufacturing sector, as toy manufacturing may include aspects like child safety testing.
So where does a consultant come in?
A good consultant can be invaluable here. They have the experience to navigate this complex landscape. They know which certification bodies have a solid reputation, which ones are recognized in your specific industry, and which ones to avoid. Think of them as your expert guide.
They can also help you prepare for the audit itself, ensuring your systems and documentation are in order. This increases your chances of a smooth and successful certification process, which can save you time and money in the long run.
Before we wrap up, let's do a quick recap. Certification body audits your organization to a standard, like ISO 9001. Accreditation body audits the certification body. Accreditation equals credibility and global acceptance. Choosing the wrong certification body? Well, that equals risk to your business.
It's like choosing a doctor. You want one who's board certified, right? It's the same principle. Accreditation is the board certification for certification bodies. Choose wisely. It's an investment in your business's future, its reputation, and its ability to compete in the global market.
And that's it for today's deep dive into choosing the right certification body. Hopefully, this episode has empowered you to make informed decisions and protect your business.
Remember, a little due diligence upfront can save you a whole lot of trouble down the road. Thanks for tuning in.
So, we've covered a lot today, Morgan, from what certification bodies and accreditation bodies are to why it all matters. But let's bring it home. Ultimately, understanding these concepts isn't just about ticking boxes on a compliance checklist. It's about protecting your business.
Exactly, Alex. Think of it this way. A right certificate is like a strong foundation. It builds trust with your customers, partners, and stakeholders. It tells them you're serious about quality, safety, or whatever standard you're claiming to meet.
But a wrong certificate, well, that's like building on sand. It might look good at first glance, but it's ultimately unstable and can lead to a whole host of problems down the line. Imagine investing time and resources into getting certified, only to have that certificate rejected when you try to bid on a major project.
It's not just about avoiding problems either. Accreditation can actually open doors to new opportunities. Many large corporations and government agencies require their suppliers to be certified by an accredited body. So by choosing the right CB, you're not just protecting yourself, you're also positioning yourself for growth.
Think of it as an investment in your company's future. Yes, an accredited certification might cost a bit more upfront, but the long-term benefits far outweigh the initial expense. It's about building a reputation for excellence and demonstrating a commitment to continuous improvement.
Let's